In this video, I'm going to show you some parameters in Gullfoss that I didn't demonstrate in the introduction video. In particular, these two red range limiters on the far sides of the equalizer graph. If for some reason you don't want Gullfoss to work on the entire audible spectrum, you can use these markers to restrict the processed frequency range by dragging these in. I've got Gullfoss loaded up on an acoustic guitar bus with two hard-panned acoustic guitars coming through. And I've got the tame setting pretty high because this is helping to suppress some of the mid-range woodiness and boxiness in the guitars. Listen in for the mid-range resonances when Gullfoss is bypassed. This is especially noticeable right where the guitarist switches chords. So I like what Gullfoss is doing with the mid-range, but I don't really want to affect the high end at all, and only the mid-low end. So I can use the range limiters to limit the range of Gullfoss's processing. So the left marker limits everything below it, and the one to the right limits everything above it. But what if you wanted to do the opposite? What if you wanted the mid-range to not be affected and just the highs and lows be affected? Well, you can actually reorder these so that the mid-range is not being affected, just the highs and lows. You can also reorder the markers to bypass the processing for a very narrow range. Or if I wanted to exclude this dip around 200 Hz, I could do the same. But now the mid-range resonances are back, so I'll go back to the way it was before. The transition between active processing and inactive processing on these markers is smooth because the strength of the processing is indicated by the shade of red to the left or right of each of the range limiters. So these markers aren't hard limiters for the processing. Just to the left of this marker, there'll still be some processing, and just to the right of this one, you'll get the same. So the processing sort of tails off. Also note that you'll see some processing beyond the markers. This is a result of the dynamic loudness compensation built into Gullfoss. If the bias is in the positive, you'll see the limited range taming a bit to compensate the loudness. If the bias is in the negative, you'll see the limited range recovering to compensate the loudness. So this is all about loudness matching the input signal with the output signal. One thing to note is that the boost parameter is actually immune to the range limiters. Also note that you're probably not going to be using extreme settings like this. Almost everything you'll do with Gullfoss is about subtle changes to ultimately rebalance the signal in a musical, pleasing way. Just like you would when using a traditional EQ in mastering, subtle changes are key, and extreme changes usually don't sound very good. One last thing I want to show you is that you can option click on a Mac or alt click on a PC to reset any of the parameters. If you hold shift while adjusting these, this will slow down the adjustment of the values, so you can better hone in on a specific value. If you'd like to try out Gullfoss for yourself, you can check it out at soundtheory.com. We hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.